Okay, the third way to graph is to use the slope-intercept form. Now, notice that I have an equation here, y equals negative 3x minus 2. Now, in order to use slope-intercept form, you have to have it in y equals mx plus b. So your equation has to be in this format right here. So notice that y is by itself. I have the equal sign next. M can be any number. So in this case, it's a negative 3. It can even be a fraction. That's okay. Then I have to have my x. And then we have to have some type of plus b. Now, this could actually be 0, and that's what our equation would look like, and that's okay. But if your equation is not in this format, you cannot graph using slope-intercept form. Now, in another video, I can show you how to turn equations into slope-intercept form, but for today, our equation is already there. Now, what I need you to remember is that in slope-intercept form, our m, which in this case is my negative 3, that is the slope. It is the rise over run. Now, since this is the slope, this is my negative 3. Now, to do slope, we must have it in a fraction form so we can understand how much to rise and how much to run. Since negative 3 is a whole number, I can write it as a fraction by putting it over 1. So now I'm going to rise negative 3 and I'm going to run 1. So I am going to use this piece right here to help me graph my function. The second thing I need to look at is my y-intercept. This b is the y-intercept. It's where the line will cross the y-axis. So I can write it as, remember, 0 is my x, and b is this number right here. Well, if we go ahead and take a look, b in this case is negative 2. It's important that you bring that negative with it. This is a negative 2. So my y-intercept is going to be 0, comma, negative 2. Now I'm going to use these two pieces of information. Oops, my pen's not working. Two pieces of information to graph my line. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. You always start with the intercept first. So I'm going to take my 0, negative 2, and I'm going to put that on the graph. So I'm at 0, and I'm going to drop down to negative 2. So now I have a point. Sorry, I've got to move it up. I'm at 0, negative 2. That's my point. Put it here. The second thing I need to do is graph my slope. Now this is telling me to rise negative 3, which sounds funny because we are going to actually drop down 3 because the rise is what we do on the y-axis. Since this is a negative 3, that means I'm going to drop down 3. So I'm going to count down 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to keep my pencil there. And now I have to run 1. Since this is a positive number, I'm going to run to the right. And I'm going to put my number right here, my little point. So now I have 2 points. I could actually do that again. Notice I have to drop down 3. 1, 2, 3. And then I have to run forward 1. There we go. So now I have some points. I can sketch in my graph. And I have graphed my equation or my function. Okay, make sure you ask me questions during class.